By the time I really saw the impact of addiction, alcohol addiction on my father, it was, late 70s. So again, not a lot of intervention going on there. He was an alcoholic, my dad, an amazing man, but struggled with alcoholism. He committed suicide when I was about 10 or 11 years old. He had been in and out of treatment, and he had just come home from treatment and couldn't stay sober. And so I think he just, went to that place where he didn't... No hope. And so that happened. Prior to that happening, he had some minor interactions with the law, some, drinking and driving, which, again, we didn't treat as seriously then as we do now. So, and various other things. I remember, I think, spending an Easter morning, at a bar, looking for his glasses on the floor because he'd been in a fist fight. So, it touched me that way, though my mother was very, very good at, shielding me and holding me up and dealing with that.
How does that affect you as a child going through? I mean, that's extremely traumatic.
Right.
What you experienced.
I would say, and I don't know that I fully experienced the trauma. It was kind of, this is life, this is what we deal with. And again, though my, father had this addiction, he was never in any way, abusive to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, when he was present and available, he was very good to me, and I do have fond memories of him. But it was really more just a general absence because he was either off drinking because, of course, he wasn't welcome to be drinking in the house, or if he was home, he was often asleep. Well, it was always, Daddy's taking a nap, don't bother him. But in retrospect, obviously, he was passed out from drinking. So those little things, but and then, of course, the suicide was a huge event. But I feel very grateful in the way that it was handled. Again, I didn't go, my mother's 87 and always says, I should have gotten you counseling. I'm like, well, that, we didn't think of those things. Sure. And even though she didn't, again, I feel very grateful for, her resilience and her positivity. And she didn't make that a defining characteristic of my life or her life. And so when we talk about childhood and what leads you places, I think that ultimately where I ended up in my legal career and here, there was a lot of, I think kind of rooting for the underdog, which is how I saw my father.